Hello there! Happy October, which is weird. I just wanted to make a video talking about some things that I will be reading. Hopefully I'll make it through all of them in October. It's not really a TBR, it's just books I like to read because it's one of my favorite seasons. Books I want to be part of the vibe for October and September and November, depending on how long it takes me to read them all. I'm working my way through the series of Unfortunate Events. I just read 8 and 9, finished these two this last week, and then I have number 10. I love a series of Unfortunate Events. I actually really like the movie. Soundtrack is one of my favorites. If you're looking for something very instrumentally, I don't know, it's just not boring music. Really fun, really exciting music by Thomas Newman. Perfect if you're reading the books, to be honest. Provides a great atmosphere. The atmosphere of these books, very silly and yet dark, and I love that. Perfect combo. Nothing beats the author voice of Lemony Snicket. He's hilarious and yet very somber. Perfect for October. Not too spooky for me, but quite nice. So I'm really excited to keep reading these. And then after book 10, I have 11, 12, and 13. So I really want to read them, but I don't want them to be over because they are like such a perfect escape and very quick reads. If you're looking for them, they're usually in middle grade sections, super fun, and I love them. Before I get to number 10 in a series of Unfortunate Events, I have been reading I've been reading The Murder on the Links by Agatha Christie. I've reviewed her stuff before, talked about what I've learned from it. I love her writing, I love her characters. It's a Poirot mystery. I love him as well. He is just such a kind of kind character and yet obviously smart. He solves mysteries. Not as brooding as many other Sherlock types, and I really like that about him. And it's just nice to read. I like her writing. I don't always, to be honest, I don't usually figure it out. I don't always understand what's going on, but I like her writing. I think she's a fascinating person and kind of shaped mystery as a whole, which I really love. So, yep. I'm reading through this one. I'm getting through it pretty decently, reading on my lunch breaks, and it's quite a nice escape. So, a little murder mystery, but nothing too dark. Yeah. Speaking of Sherlock Holmes, I was out in Barnes & Noble, and my husband bought me this book. I like these new classics. It's a Sherlock Holmes mystery, The Hounds of Baskerville, except I didn't notice until we bought it that it's got a little typo, The Hound of Baskervilles, and I was like, Baskervilles? Oh, it's supposed to be The Hounds of Baskerville. It's funny. The inside has it, printed correctly. But look at that cover, like the pinned moths and butterflies. I really like that. I think it's really cool, very aesthetic, and so I was like, yeah, I do want it, and it was really great. I'll probably read that soon, I don't know when. I love the cover, and I love Sherlock Holmes. Speaking of classic book covers that I love, I saw this Poe Collections in Barnes & Noble, and I thought it was beautiful. And then I'm reading like part of the intro stuff about his life, which I never read that. I always skip the foreword by the person who put the works together. Bless them. I usually skip it. But it talks about his life, and it's like the lifetime of his events. And at some point he married his 13-year-old cousin, and that threw me off. So I don't know if I'll actually be reading this because I can't get it out of my head. But he was, I guess, a creep, so, and you can tell me that it was the times, but 13-year-olds have always been 13-year-olds. Anyway, but aside from that, perfect if you want a spooky vibe and a little classic vibe. I like some of the poetry in here. It's kind of what I'm focusing on. I will not be reading all of it, I don't think. Just what I'm interested in, because that's how I read. Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. I wanted to read this. I read Shadow and Bone. I haven't read the other two books in the series, and I read Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom. Loved them so much. I really like her writing, and I heard of this before I even heard of Shadow and Bone when I was like started to watch BookTube and stuff. So I'm really interested. I like the vibe. I think it'll be perfect. I love the cover. I love Leigh Bardugo. This will be the next book I'll be reading after The Murder on the Links is Fledgling by Octavia Butler. I read Kindred quite a few months ago. and loved it, like got right through it. It was a heavy read, but a good one. I love her writing, I love her characterization. So this is about a young black girl with amnesia, as far as I know, who kind of sorts out that she's a 53-year-old vampire. So I love a vampire book. I love like paranormal type stories that aren't super creepy. I think this was the last work Octavia Butler published before she passed away, and if it is, correct me if I'm wrong. I really like her. Everyone seems to enjoy her. She's prolific. She has so much out there, and I intend to read it all. So just continuing on with that, figured a vampire book was perfect for this time of year. Good excuse to read Octavia Butler. Last but not least, a book I've heard about, a little bit of science fiction for me to balance out all the fantasy and other works, is An Unkindness of Ghosts by River Solomon. I wanted to read this one just on the vague notion of it and the cover, and it's nice to have some science fiction. They don't always give me the spooky vibe. To be honest, I don't know what the vibe of this book is all that much, because I don't want to know too much about it, because I feel like I watch all these reviews of these other books, like, and I don't necessarily know too much about it, but I know too much what people think about it. So I'm just going to enjoy this, jump in. After I read Fledgling, I'll probably jump into this one. We'll see what my mood is, but I will get through it this season. Anyway, if you have any recommendations, please let me know. I'll be making a video about some big books I want to jump in and read. If you like this video, please let me know. Thumbs up, comment, what are your favorite spooky books or traditions? If you're looking for suggestions from me, books I've read recently that I'm not going to read this season, Neil Gaiman's like middle grade selection, Coraline, and The Graveyard Book are some really perfect reads for this time of year if you're not looking for something horror based. So anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you later. I'll let you know how I feel about these books, give you a brief update, and yeah, thanks for watching.